Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Two Tutors Talking. I am your lovely host, Audrey Codner from ACG Math Tutoring. And for today, it's just going to be me. I'm going to try not to be as long as I was yesterday. Yesterday, I was basically talking to other tutors about the teacher tutor mindset shift. And I usually take that very personal, and I do have a tendency to do an extension. But for today, I really want to talk about what's happening with our students. So, especially the ones in our athletes. So, I know it's fall, kids are going back to school. A lot of our student athletes have already, especially if they're in the fall sport, they've already been in season for almost a month now. And they're starting to have games and they're starting to have more demands. And God forbid, if they're on a travel team, that's starting to kick up again, or if they want to do like an invitational, and then all of a sudden you're right back to all the traveling from point A to point B to point C to point D, and then you just feel like you're going all over the place. But I just wanted to really reach out very briefly to kind of address that even though you're really trying to extend or basically get your kids ready athletically because you feel like, all right, they have a potential, they're showing promise, they're showing excellence, but don't forget about that academic piece. They are student athletes. So when I say that, the student part comes first. And I know a lot of people like, well, Audrey, he's gifted. He can make $1 million. We got all these people that wanted to sponsor him, with the name, image, and likeness. And everybody's like getting into there. And I'm like, yes. But what happens if there's an injury? There is always a level that this kid could get hurt. And that's what happens. You can have all the precautions in the world. We're still having athletes suffering from dehydration. We still have athletes that are turning ankles and hurting knees and pulling ligaments. Like for me, I was an athlete. I tore my ACL. I tore my uh not the planets, the Achilles heel. I can't even remember it. On the same leg. Some days I feel like I should just cut off my right leg because it's like I did my knee, I did my ankle. It's just a whole mess. But there's always that they could get hurt. Look at Aaron Rodgers. Debut. Yay, go Jets. And injury. Done for the rest of the season. The same thing can happen to your student athlete. So my whole thing is instead of relying so much on other people to watch their money, to give them financial advice, give them social advice and everything else, why not learn those skills while you're doing? And I know it's hard, it's a pain in the neck, but why not learn those skills while you're doing? So when it comes to our student athletes, we really need to make sure that academic is also being touched upon when you're going through all this traveling. I know sometimes they want to take a quick nap. Go ahead, take a quick nap. Everyone needs to recharge. But don't just say, okay, you're going to college to play a sport. No, you're using your athletic ability to get into college where you can network, you can learn a few skills and be able to apply it at a higher level than you would at high school. That's why you're going to college. Don't fall short into or fall prey into what you see on TV. You're going to have your fanatics. You're going to have people praising you. You're going to have all the fame and glory as you keep pushing and pumping because I came from the gym. So, yeah, pump some iron. Yes, I'm doing my running. Yes, I'm doing my intervals. But then when things get quiet, what are you left with? And I'm speaking as a former athlete. Things will get quiet. And right now, you're not worried about it because your child is in the mix and you're in the mix. But eventually, when it comes to senior year and you notice that, oh, no one's picking my child up, or they did pick my child up, and then that college isn't the right fit that you thought it was, and then you want to transfer. Ever since they had that transfer portal, everything just got crazy. But then I noticed there's a lot of students that have that athletic ability, but they don't have the academics to match. And what happens? I'm going to see you at Walmart. I'm going to be truthful because that's real. You can be very skilled. I know this one gentleman, three-sport athlete, amazing, can run anyone out of the gym completely, had the skill set, had the handles, had the shooting form, everything, but did not have the academics. And for me, I just felt like even that coach should have been on top of that kid, like, "Look, you need to get at least a 2.5." Homeboy was rocking with a 1.8. And I'm like, how is he playing? But this is before they started instilling that you need to have a certain GPA. I've been around for a while, guys. I'm not as old as dirt, but I'm there. But when it comes to those academic pieces, don't fall short. If your child is struggling with reading, you need to incorporate a tutor because as quickly as you're able to buy $200, $300 shoes or cleats, right? Or uniforms or travel fees, you should also be investing in your child for the tutor. Because here's my thing. I know we as parents, you can't do everything. And you try to give the best of that skill for your child. But at the same time, you also have to think about their future. Because I see way too many athletes, and I know a lot of athletes that used to play in the NBA. I know a lot of athletes that used to play NFL. And they're doing great because they put things into action. They use their name, they put things into action, and now they're able to develop their own systems, their own businesses. But then I also know a lot of athletes that played at that high level, was getting paid. And then 5 years later, they're claiming bankruptcy. Same time going in, but not the same results coming out. So that's why we have to really feed that mind. If you want to take on LeBron James, he is basically trying to feed that mind, really trying to give that intellectual feel. My friend Katina Mobley, he's trying to do all these other things as well and doing the development. And there's a lot of other athletes. The other day I was watching I think it was some kind of House Hunters. I forgot which one because I'm obsessed with House Hunters. And they were doing things with former athletes. And a lot of them like, "Oh, he's 6'6", and they're showing these houses where the ceiling is, like, right here. Like, right away, lady. Like, he's 6'6", he can't walk into the house, right? But they were saying, "Oh, he's 6'6", a former football player, and now he is working for a security company." And you're like, "What?" And I'm like, I don't think people were hearing it. And then I was watching the next one. "Oh, this is a former NBA player, and now he's just working on for Xerox." And I'm like, "What?" It just seemed like it was all over the place. Another one was a car dealer. Another one was working on a family business. And you would think, because this is how we think, people are on the outside looking in, you would think, oh, once you're a professional athlete, you're set for life. No, you have to learn to pace your money. You have to learn how to invest your money. You have to learn how to basically know the difference between a need and a want. But in order to do that, you have to have the education for it. And if you don't have the education for it, you are going to fall short. You are going to be someone that is going to be struggling. And everyone's going to look at you like, man, you were up here. Now you're not here. And what does that do to that athlete? Damaging. Know how I know? Went through it. Thank God I had the parents that I had, but still emotionally, still going through it. Because now I have to find my source, my purpose to actually being here. So if I didn't have the academic or the drive and determination to do something better, to be able to serve my fellow man or woman, I would be lost. Just like my other former I'm keep losing former student athletes to suicide because their identity is lost. But that's where it comes to the education, and that's where it comes to having an environment and a supportive environment to help those student athletes. Because as you're going, you're buying their jerseys, you have a room dedicated to your favorite team, maybe even a shrine to your favorite player. I've actually seen some people with shrines of a favorite player. Little out there. That's why they call them fans, and fans are short for fanatics. So, as everyone's praising and making sure you're going to the game and it's a ritual and you have to constantly be there, but also your kid and your student athlete has to get that academic situated. They have to get at least a 2.6. It's a C, slightly close to a C plus. Why are we shooting for C's? Why not? Let me see if I can understand this, apply it, and then move on with my life. Because here's another thing, the higher your GPA, the more opportunities you're going to get. The more opportunities the students are going to have, regardless of their athletic ability. Because, hey, I used to be a college coach. And this is what we're doing. We're looking at kids that have determination and drive. And if you have abilities, that's awesome. But if you have a negative attitude and have a great ability, we're still not going to want you because you're never going to be satisfied. As some people like to put it as a sum saying, be humble. We're looking for those kids that want to be humble, that want to get after it, that want to basically want to build that team up. That's what coaches are looking for. But if you have that, plus we can see that determination and drive in your academics because you're coming in with me with a B plus, with an A plus, and also taking AP classes, we got everything to work with. Because guess what? In order for you to play on that particular team, the college has to accept you. So if the college doesn't accept you, guess what? Bye bye, dream school. So you have to get your academics together. And if you think, oh, let me just go date my little honey dip and she'll write my paper for me, or she'll do my tests and do my redos and do my work for me because she loves me and she praises me. By the time you get into college, that's going to show face big time. And you're not going to make it through your freshman year. If you don't do well that first semester, you're on probation. Now you can't play at all. You can practice with the team, yay, but you won't be able to play. How annoying is it? Because you may or may not be able to travel with the team. You might have to stay on campus while everybody else is traveling going to the game because you're not academic eligible. I can't say spit it out because you're not eligible. So, with that being said, it's a joint thing. It's not like, oh, I'll get to it when I get to it. Because there's so many times close to the end of the quarter, which for us is like around the first week of October. This is when all of a sudden, the week before grades are supposed to come in, I'll get a flood of student athletes. Oh, I got to finish this project. Oh, in order for me to pass this quarter, I got to do this. Why? If you were working and understanding throughout the whole time, you wouldn't have to worry about the stress. Why add stress to your life? If you can find the money to join into a travel team, if you can find the money to get the equipment, if you can find the money to travel to point A to point B to point C to get into those tournaments, you can find the money to get a tutor. Tutors have various price levels, various abilities. It's all up to what your child needs. So if we can't get the latest iPhone for Christmas, but you'll be eventually to pay for your own iPhone in a few years, go get a tutor. Like seriously. If you know your child struggles with math or with English, you need those. That's the essentials. That's the essentials, right? You need to understand those things. There's a lot of students that don't know how to do mental math, can't add, subtract, multiply, divide without a calculator. I'm not even talking about let's take the derivative of this. I'm not even talking about factoring quadratic equations. I'm not even talking about that part. Just the essentials that they know that 4 squared is the same as saying 4 times 4, and they still will tell me it's 7. We need to make sure we take care of the whole student athlete. That's including the academics as well as the athletic piece. So, if you have a child that is, yes, math is not their forte, make sure you reach out. If you don't want to have tutoring with me, that's fine. I have friends that are tutors. We'll have a talk. I'll figure out who is going to be in the right spot, and then I'll guide you to the right person. But no matter what, don't ignore it. It's not going to go away. It's not like acne, you know, oh, it'll just go away on its own. No, you got to take care of it. Because if you don't take care of it now, especially early on, and especially those that are going from 8th grade to 9th grade, it is essential. I don't know if you're going to make it on that basketball team because it's not time for basketball tryouts yet. But here's the thing. If you're doing poorly with your academics, you just cut yourself. You just cut yourself off the team because if you can't do it academically, which that is something that you can control, your coach is not going to keep you. So why not start now? And if you're saying, "Oh, well, the colleges aren't looking until your junior year." Yeah, they're not doing the athletic piece, but they're always looking. If you're worth taking a look at, they're always looking. They're probably talking about your kid right here, right now. But if you don't get that done, no one can help you. All right? So, it was a short one. Okay, relatively short. So again, my name is Audrey Codner. I am the owner of ACG Math Tutoring, and I love tutoring my student athletes. Little tongue tied there, but I do. I tutor like all students, basically from 7th all the way up to adults. And my major thing is like algebra 1, algebra 2, geometry. Some places have trig separate from geometry, so I also do trig, pre-calculus, and then also those intermediate algebra courses that you take through the colleges. So that'll be your 1, your 2, and your 3. So if you need assistance with any of that, or if you just have some questions, go ahead and reach out. You can find me at acgmathtutoring.com, or you can go to my Solo2 account, which I have it in my other video, which is solo dot two, which is TO slash ACG Math Tutoring, where you can find almost everything except for my social security number on there, all my social media handles and everything else. So hopefully this was helpful. If it wasn't really resonating with you, but you know there's definitely some people that need to hear it, please share it with them. Go ahead and share it. If you were here for the live, even for a brief moment, hit hashtag live. If you were here for the replay, hit hashtag replay because it helps with the algorithm. So have an awesome day. Make sure you keep up with the academics as well as the athletics. And whoever your home team is, cheer them on and leave the umps alone. All right. Take care, guys. Have a wonderful day.